Hi and welcome to North Beach Yoga. Today's class is a dynamic vinyasa style, so it's not recommended for absolute beginners or those of you who are pregnant or have any current injuries or concerns. So please be your own inner guide here. Listen to your own heart and adjust any poses as you feel necessary. Rest whenever you wish. And don't feel like you need to match any of the poses that I'm holding today. Okay, so we're going to be doing a core strengthening style today, working on your tapas, your heat, generating some strength from below using a lot of mula bandha and helping you to feel nice and strong and grounded. Okay, so finding yourself in a nice comfortable seat. You might use a block or a rolled up towel or a cushion to sit on to elevate the hips. You want to get the feeling that the knees are opening nice and easily. So if the knees are up high, that's a sign that a bit of height under your seat would be helpful for you. So closing the eyes and just feeling yourself right here, right now, in this moment. Starting to become aware of the breath at the nostrils, noticing the warmth of the air as you breathe out. So already observing that the fire in the body is heating the breath, noticing that the breath is a little cooler at the nostrils when you breathe in. Getting the feeling that the spine is lengthening slightly, all the way out through the crown of the head. And feeling your connection with the earth in your sit bones, whether they're on the ground or the block or a bolster, or just feeling that connection with below. We're going to begin with Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, so the alternate nostril breathing. So taking your left hand and turning it over, extending out the last three fingers and bowing the index finger into the crease of the thumb. Just extend that arm a little as well. Bringing the right hand up and placing the first two fingers at the centre of the forehead, or you can bow them if you wish. And then having the thumb on the right nostril and the ring finger and pinky on the left nostril. We bow the chin down to meet the chest and lift the chest up to meet the chin. Feel a lift from below, so you want to engage through mula bandha, so the pelvic floor muscles are engaging, lifting inwards and upwards. And feel the chest lifting as well. Closing the right nostril, half open the left, and begin to breathe in slowly through the left side only. As gently as you can, as if you weren't really needing to breathe much. Feel the lungs and chest expand. When you're ready to change sides, we're going to exhale on the right side. So close the left side, exhale through the right side only. Again, very slowly, only partially opening that nostril. Stay on this same side to breathe in whenever you're ready. At the end of your in-breath, close the right nostril, half open the left, and slowly exhale through the left side only. So we're intentionally trying to go this slow. Keep drawing the chin down and lifting the chest up. Stay on this side to breathe in. Broaden the shoulders. Close the left side, half open the right, and very slowly breathing out through the right only. You might find some pauses appear. So breathing in on the right side when you're ready. Just going as slow as you can. And exhaling, changing sides to exhale on the left side. So just becoming familiar with that pattern. It's an exhale, inhale, change sides. Exhale, inhale, change sides. And just going as slow as you can. If you find it's a bit of a struggle, that's no problem. Just release the practice. Just let the breath return to normal and then come back. Try again when you're ready. Next time you breathe in, imagine the opposite side of the brain lighting up. So if you're breathing in on the left side, you imagine the right side of the brain lighting up. This practice is very calming and soothing for the mind and helps us to drop into that rest, digest sort of side of the nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system. This is where all the healing happens, where the magic happens. As you breathe in on the right side, imagine the left side of the brain lighting up. Always remembering to change sides when it's time to breathe out. Just 2 more breaths here. Next time you get to the left side, just complete the inhale on the left side. And then releasing the practice. Just whenever you get there is fine. The arm floats down, the chin floats back up to neutral. And just allowing the breath to find its own natural rhythm. Just observing what's going on for you now within the mind, observing any changes. This practice is said to bring clarity to the mind and to your thoughts. And bringing your hands to touch in front of your heart center into Anjali Mudra. And setting your intention, your sankalpa. And so it'd be nice if you can have an ongoing sankalpa, an ongoing intention with your regular yoga practice. It's nice to use it as an affirmation. So it might be, I am content, or I am peaceful. Something you'd like to cultivate within, something you'd like to literally tend inwardly to. And slowly releasing the hands down by your side. Take a big breath in as you raise the arms up. Reach up and look up. See the palms touch, and as you exhale, draw them down the center. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, raise the arms out to the side. Reach up and look up. Feel the lungs expand, and exhale, drawing back down to center. One more as you inhale. Start to use a bit of Ujjayi pranayama, that activation of the throat muscles. And then releasing the hands, coming to lie down on your back. So moving any props out of the way. We're going to lie on our backs. And having the knees bent and the heels just out of reach of the fingertips. So you've got the knees and the hips and the feet all about hip width apart. Just starting to feel an activation through Mula Bandha now. So pressing into the feet. Start to imagine that there's a block between your legs, or you can use a block if you have one. And imagine spiraling the legs inwards and outwards at the same time. So you press into the feet and start to feel the legs engage all the way up through into Mula Bandha. So we're using the muscles of the legs to start to sense Mula Bandha activating. Okay. On your next inhale, we're going to press into the feet, tuck the tail, and start to lift the tail off the ground and bring the arms with you nice and slowly. As you inhale, keep the gaze straight up to the ceiling or the sky. And as you exhale, slowly peeling down, see if you can feel each vertebra one by one. And only at the end of the out-breath do the hands and the tail touch down. When you breathe in, press into the feet, lift the tail, tucking and lifting the hands at the same time. Press into the feet as you lift the hips, lift the chest, gaze is straight up to the ceiling. And then exhaling, peeling down, feeling the shoulder blades roll, really hollowing in through the belly here. And the tailbone is the last point to touch down. Good, last one. Pressing into the feet, tuck the tail, lift the hips, inhale, up and over. And exhale, hollow through the belly, all the way down. Beautiful. Releasing here, hugging the knees into the chest. Take a nice deep breath out. Maybe rolling around on the sacrum a little. You might take hold of the knees and rock them from side to side. And then starting to draw circles with the knees so you can feel the sacrum rolling around on the ground. Making the circles go the other way. Then holding the right knee into the chest, extending the left, coming into Apanasana. So feeling a nice stretch through that left hip and squeezing the right leg in towards you. If you've got any knee injuries, just take hold of the back of the thigh instead and let that knee feel free. You can point the toes here, plantar flexion, so ballet style kind of point. You really want to feel a crease through the front of that hip as well as a lengthening through the front of the left side. Soften the shoulders and the neck and the face. And then as you inhale, changing sides, exhale, squeeze the left side in. You might engage the glutes here to help you get more of lengthening through the front of that right hip as you squeeze the left one in, taking hold of either behind the knee or over the shin. So see if you can connect with that Ujjayi breath, that feeling of kind of whisper muscles engaged in the back of the throat, a bit of an ocean sound to the breath. I'm going to start to move with the breath now. So as you inhale, change sides, and as you exhale, squeeze the right side in. That left leg can hover now. Inhale to change, exhale to squeeze in the left side. So either continuing like this, just keeping the head on the ground and the shoulders. Otherwise, we're going to lift the chest up to meet the knee. Still moving with the breath. I want you to go nice and slow as you move through these yogic bicycles. We don't want to throw the body around. We want to move nice and slow with the breath, so we're not cheating and using momentum. There's lots of control. You might like to add a little bit more of a dynamic action with the arms. So on the next round, you can extend the arms outside the bent knee. Inhale, fingers to temples, and exhale out outside the other knee. Inhale to change. Exhale to extend. Otherwise, you're just doing the nice, easier stretch version, keeping the head and the shoulders on the ground. We'll just do 2 more. Good, and release. Soften through the front of the belly and the front of the thighs. So really taking that moment to hold onto the legs so that your hips can soften and your thighs can soften a little more. And then feel that softening occurring through the shoulders, the face, the neck and the throat as well. Bringing the legs up, coming into a tabletop position. So you've got the shins at a right angle to the knees and the thighs a right angle to the torso here. If that's a bit much, then bring the knees a little closer, that'll soften it off a little. Bring the hands behind the head and interlace the fingers. Or if that's not comfortable, you can lift the hips and place the hands either side of the sacrum as well. Give yourself a little bit of support. As you exhale, we're going to dip the right heel towards the ground, but keeping that right angle at the knee. Changing sides. Exhale, slowly lower the left heel. Inhale to bring it up. Exhaling to lower. So the feet are flexed, dorsiflexed. You're pushing the heels away and drawing the toes back. And you just want to feel the hinging occurring from the hip. So you're keeping that right angle at the knees as though there's an angle bracket there. Exhaling to lower and inhaling to bring it back up. Each time you exhale, still trying to feel as though the belly muscles are drawing back to center. So even though they feel like they want to protrude here, the rectus abdominis in particular, we want to draw them back towards the spine. All the way from the pubic bone to the navel and from the navel up to the solar plexus. So we want to keep all of that area drawing back to center as we exhale. Your Ujjayi breath will help you immensely here. Just finishing the round you're on. Finishing on the left side. And release, hugging the knees into the chest, just softening here. Maybe rolling from side to side or drawing circles with the knees, whatever feels good. And then bring the knees back up, the shins back up to parallel to the ground. This time we're going to extend out through the right leg. So take a deep breath in. As you exhale, we're going to push that heel away, letting it hover, and then inhale to draw it back to center. Exhale, extend the left leg away. Still pushing out through the heel. Inhale, draw it back. Engaging the glutes as well as you extend away. And then the next round we're going to change the point of the foot. So the flexion of the foot is now going to be a plantar flexion, pointing the toes. Exhale, extend. Inhale, draw it back. If you get a cramp or anything, you can release the toes, bring them back to a flexion of dorsiflex. It's up to you. Just want you to keep that activity through the feet. So the feet are not just kind of floppy and loose. We want to have them active. Start to slow it down a little with the breath. Observing if you've sped it up or if the breath is starting to hold. You want to have your inhale and your exhale flowing into each other. So we're not retaining the breath in any way. Good. Just one more. Finishing the round you're on the left side. And release. Hugging the knees into the chest, feeling nice and soft again. Soft through the face and the eyebrows, the throat, the jaw, the sides of the neck, the shoulders, the belly, and the hips. Good. So you can either repeat that, doing one leg at a time, or for this round we're going to bring both legs up into the air. So raising both legs up and straightening them, having the hands underneath your seat if that's comfortable for you, or you can bring them by your side or underneath your head. Good. So raise the legs up, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, the right leg starts to lower down, and inhale, bringing it back up. So if that's a bit much, come back to bent knees instead. Exhale to lower. So can you think more about Mula Bandha now? Inhaling to raise up. So each time you exhale, feel that lift from below. Really trying to isolate the work, not allowing the shoulders, the face, or the neck muscles to try and take over here. Observing if you're starting to speed up the breath, can you slow it down? Especially the in-breath is the one that starts to speed up as we try and bring that leg up a lot quicker. So nice and slow as you inhale as well. We've just got another round after this and then we're done. Just finishing up on your left side. And hugging the knees into the chest. Softening through the hip flexors. Softening through the belly. And the face. So raising the legs back up. This is the last round. So opening the legs out, we're going to bring the hands into Uttara Bodhi Mudra, or you might like to think of them as Charlie's Angels hands. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, we're going to lift the chest up. So not just the head, but the chest as well. Inhaling to lower down. As you exhale, lifting the whole of the back of the body off the ground if you can, or imagining like you could, and inhaling to lower down. Each time you lower down, the arms only come to be directly above you. We're not throwing them overhead here. Exhale. Feel the engagement through the whole of the abdominal columns. But more importantly, feeling Mula Bandha engaging. So the base of your core muscles starts with Mula Bandha, feeling that lift from below. Perhaps having a look at your belly muscles, checking that they're not protruding, so draw them back to center. And still strong through the legs. Pointing the toes if you can, plantar flexion. Remembering to always rest whenever you need to. You want to work towards your edge without going past it. Last one. And exhaling to release. Draw the knees in, softening here. Good. Taking hold of the knees, drawing nice big circles. Feeling that sacrum rolling around on the ground. Make the circles go in both directions. Just really feeling that loosening up, softening the belly and the lower back. We're going to come into ankle to knee. So bringing the right foot onto the left thigh, either staying here and feeling your right knee open away from you, as well as lengthening the tailbone away from you on the ground as well. Okay, that might be enough for you. Keep that foot flexed. Otherwise, if you want to go deeper, you can hug the left thigh in towards your chest, thread the needle, right arm comes through the hole in the middle, and you can either take hold of the back of the thigh or over the shin if your knees are feeling fine. As you inhale, imagine the spine lengthening. And as you exhale, imagine the tailbone lengthening away from you, opening through the right hip. You might like to just draw some circles with that left foot, just if the foot's off the ground. Making the circles go in both directions. So it's just warming up the ankle joint. So keeping the knee still, but just moving the foot. More importantly though, this is a hip stretch. So just focusing on what's going on in that right hip. Letting the left foot just steady now. As you focus on the right hip, imagine that you are breathing into the right hip. Imagine that right hip expanding with the in-breath. Imagining the right hip opening a little more with the out-breath. Shoulders are soft. The forehead is soft. Still pressing out through that right heel, drawing the toes back towards the knee. The left foot can be soft now. As you release the hands, keep that right leg on top and cross it over the body or over the left thigh. Reach up and take hold of either the knees, the shins, the outer calves, or the outside of the little toe edge of the foot. So that might be a bit too much. You might just take the knees and work on hugging the knees towards your chest with the legs crossed. If it's really easy, take hold of the outside of the feet and send the feet in opposite directions, flexing the feet, so drawing the toes back towards the knees, pushing out through the heels just within your range. So when you feel the stretch in the hips, that's where you stop. That's where you just breathe into that space. Keep bringing the awareness back to your breath, to your Ujjayi pranayama. And slowly, gently releasing. We'll change sides. Bring the left foot onto the right thigh, holding here to begin with as you flex that left foot and opening the left leg, left knee out to the side. We're not really interested in twisting the knee, we're interested in what's going on in this left hip. So feeling that outward rotation of the left hip. If that's easy, drawing the right thigh in towards you, threading the left hand through the hole in the middle and taking hold of the outside of the shin or underneath the thigh if you're looking after your knees today. You can start to draw some circles with that right foot. Toes are making the circles. Keeping the left foot nice and flexed, heel pressed away. Making the circles go in both directions. And then steadying the foot as you bring your awareness back to your left hip. So really using the breath to find a bit more space in that left hip. Extending the tailbone away and soft through the neck and shoulders. And so taking that left leg now and crossing it over the right leg, reaching up for either the knees, the shins, or the outside of the feet. And just feeling where the stretch occurs for you in the sides of the hips. Wherever you get the stretch, that's far enough. And just coming back to the breath. So you'll notice that the tailbone is trying to curl upwards. So to deepen the stretch, we try to lengthen the tailbone away. Softening through the face and the shoulders. Still pressing out through the feet as you draw the toes back towards the knees. Last breath here. And then release. Just hugging the knees into the chest one more time, maybe doing some circles with the knees. And then when you're ready, crossing over the feet, rolling yourself up, bringing yourself over onto hands and knees. We'll start with some cat curls. Just a couple of cat curls to warm up the spine. So as you inhale, lift up through the chest, lift the tail. And as you exhale, hollow the belly, tucking right under like a cat. Inhale, open the chest forwards, lift the tail. Exhale, hollow underneath. Good. One more, inhale. And exhale, hollowing under. Rotating the toes and pressing back to downward dog. Just starting to pedal the feet a little, warming up through the backs of the legs. You can maybe do the twist a little, crossing the knees over each other. And then steadying nice and slowly into your downward dog. So feeling yourself lift up through Mula Bandha and then continuing that feeling of lift into Uddiyana Bandha. So that's the feeling of lifting everything inwards and upwards into the ribs. So you're emptying through the abdominals, especially on the out breath. On every inhale, imagine the body lengthening, and on every exhale, imagine the body strengthening. Make your downward dog a little bit longer. As you inhale, going to come up onto tippy toes. As you exhale, coming forwards into plank. Lifting the front of the body up into the back of the body. As you inhale, lift up into a high downward dog. As you exhale, stay here, lower the heels to the ground. Doing that a few times with the breath. Inhale, heels rise. Exhale, hips come down, nice plank. So I'm noticing that there's one piece of wood, one straight line from the crown to the heels. Inhale, lift the hips high, keep up on your toes, and then exhale the heels down. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, coming forwards. Inhale, leading with the hips, lift them up, and then exhale, lowering the heels. This time, raising the right leg up into the air. As you exhale, draw the knee to the chest, coming forward into plank. Inhale, raise the leg up. This time, exhale across the body to the opposite elbow. Inhale and up. You could be doing all of this with the knees on the ground if you prefer. This time, outside the same elbow. Exhale. Inhale, three-legged dog, and exhale to downward dog. So the variation with the knees on the ground would just be raising the leg up and tucking it under, crossing it over and over. When you're ready, we'll come to the next side. Inhale, raise the left leg up. Exhale it forward, bring the knee right up to the chest. Inhale, extend the leg up. Exhale, cross it over the body to the opposite elbow. Inhale it up. Exhale to same elbow, outside the left elbow. Inhale it up. And exhale, bringing the foot down. Hold here for a couple of breaths, or you might choose to come down into child's pose and rest here. So whichever pose you're in, if you're in downward dog, nicely, slowly working on releasing the breath. If you're in child's pose, then feeling the breath into the back of the body. Feel the expansion of the ribs, and then feel the softening. When you're ready, coming back up to downward dog, we're going to repeat that again. So as you inhale, raise the right leg up. Remember, you could be on your knees here instead. Exhale, draw the knee to the center of the chest. Inhale, raise the leg up. Exhale to cross the body, knee to opposite elbow. Inhale to raise up. Exhale, knee outside right elbow.
Inhale, raise it up. And then exhale, releasing it down to downward dog. Inhaling the left leg up. Exhale, knee to chest. Still lifting up into the front of the body there. Inhale, raise the leg up. Crossing the body this time. Exhale, knee to opposite elbow. Inhale, raise the leg up. Exhale, outside the same elbow. Inhale it up. And exhale to your downward dog. Either downward dog or hands and knees or child's pose. Your variation, whatever you like there. So a couple of breaths to smooth it all out here. Find that reconnection with the breath. Find that you can keep the in-breath and the out-breath nice and smooth and even. So you might even choose to count the breath here. Inhaling for 5 and exhaling for 5. Just trying to find that evenness in the breath. At the end of your next out breath, coming up to downward dog if you're not there already. We're going to bend the elbows, bend the knees, either walk up between the hands or come into a little jump. And exhaling into your forward bend. Inhale to flat back, lengthen the spine. And exhale, hollow the belly into your forward bend again, Uttanasana. To come up, little bend in the knees as you press into your feet, raise the arms out to the side, reach up and look up. And exhale, draw the palms down the center. Inhale, raise the arms out to the side, reach up and look up. Exhale, hollow and fold, little bend in the knees. Inhale to prepare. So we bring the hands towards the ground and extend. So knees can bend as much as you need. Exhale as you step back and lower to the ground. Maybe all the way down. Or you can come to chaturanga and upward dog. Following me to baby cobra. And then pressing back to downward dog. So 5 breaths here. Really trying to find that connection with the breath. Finding the flow between the in-breath and the out-breath. So we never want to actually close off entirely the back of the throat. We don't want to find that, that we're holding the breath in any stage either. So try to get that flow, the in-breath and the out-breath, just kind of go in and out of each other. Sending the hips nice and high, little bend in the knees if you need to. Imagining that your heels will migrate to the ground one day. At the end of your next out breath, bend the elbows, bend the knees, do a little jump, or just walk forwards to between the hands. Inhale to a nice high flat back. Reach the hands, they might touch the shins, the knees, the ground, wherever. And then exhale, hollow the belly into your Uttanasana, forward bend. Press into the feet to come up, raise the arms out to the side, reach up and look up. And exhale, draw the palms together, Samastiti. Inhale, raise the arms, reach up and look up. Exhale to hollow the belly and fold forwards. Inhale, prepare. Look out in front, the hands come to the ground. Exhale, step or jump back to chaturanga. Either come all the way to the ground to upward to baby cobra or chaturanga to upward dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. And then exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. You might choose to come onto hands and knees or child's pose for 5 breaths now, or holding downward dog for 5 breaths. If you're in your downward dog, the fingers are spread nice and wide, feeling into the whole ring of the palm. Just making sure that you're pressing into the whole palm evenly, the whole ring of the palm, and not leaning into the little toe side of the hands too much. So pressing into the knuckles will really help here. Feel the belly becoming more and more concave, especially on the out breath. And at the end of your next out breath, looking between the hands, walk or jump there softly. Inhaling to flat back and exhaling to forward bend. Inhale, raise the arms out to the side, reach up and look up, growing nice and tall, and then draw it down to center. Good. Inhale, raise the arms up. You can do a swan dive here if you like. Reach the arms out to the side and fold. Inhale, prepare, look out in front. We're going to shoot the left leg back behind us and come into a low lunge. So dropping through the back knee, bringing the hands down onto the ground and turning the back toes so you can press into the top of the back foot. Feel the spine lengthen. And still squeezing that right knee in towards your chest. So it's nice, it's still strong through that front leg. And one more breath here. And then we're going to raise up and bring the arms so that the palms turn behind us. So the pinkies are coming in towards us in the same direction. So not going out to the side to get there, coming into the middle. And then see if you can press into the legs a little more to find a bit more support into the lower back. So there's a deep lunge, but we're also supporting the lower back. Similarly, we've got the oppositional force of the arms reaching, but then drawing the shoulder blades back down. Bring the hands around the front foot. We're going to drop back to child's pose, arms extended, and then do a crawl through. So the chin goes low, the elbows squeeze in by your side, hips are high, then the chin comes up, and we open into baby cobra. Deep breath in. Exhale to downward dog. Stepping the left foot forward. If it doesn't make it all the way to the front of the mat, just drop the back knee first. And then just finding yourself in your low lunge to begin with. Feel that the neck is part of the spine, so there's that long line. Pressing into the top of the back foot and the front foot evenly. As you press into the feet, rising up and turning the palms behind you, pinkies facing inwards. So if you tend to be hyperflexible in the lower back, then a cue for you will be to come right up and imagine tucking the tail. So just not wanting to let ourselves sort of dip into the front of the belly there. Strong through the belly will help, and strong through the glutes and the back thigh muscles and the front thigh muscles. Good. Reach the hands around the front foot, turn the back toes and step forward into Uttanasana. Exhaling here. Raise the arms out to the side, reach up and look up, and then reach the arms back out to the side as you come back to Tadasana. Okay, we'll do that again. Inhale to raise the arms up. Exhale, swan dive, little bend in the knees though, as you hollow the belly. Inhale, prepare and look out in front. Exhale, shoot the right leg back first. Left leg is now forward. And notice every time my leg is forward, the knee and ankle are in line. So we don't want to have the knee pushing past the ankle. So feeling the length through the whole of the body. All the way from the back toes to the crown. Inhale to come up. This time turning the palms so that you've got the right palm facing forward, right palm, and then the fingers of the left palm are behind the right. One palm in front of the other. Thumbs interlaced. One more breath here as you find strength in the legs. As you exhale, come back to child's pose, arms extended. Preparing for your crawl through. The slower you go, the harder it will be. So as you crawl through, chin is low, then the chin comes up and the hips go low. You can press to downward dog or hands and knees or child's pose, whichever you prefer. And then the right leg steps forward. So if you need to drop the back knee first. Holding the low lunge to begin with, pressing into the toenails of the back foot. Long through the back of the neck. And then coming up, seeing if you can remember which hand was in front and changing sides. So this time the left palm will be in front, right thumb will be in front. Doesn't matter too much if you don't work it out, but just trying to feel even in the shoulders, strong through the legs.
Find the lift upwards as well as the grounding downwards. Good. Release the hands around the front foot, stepping all the way forward and exhaling into Uttanasana. Raise the arms out to the side, reach up and look up. Exhale, arms out by your side, coming into Tadasana. Bring the palms to touch in front of your heart center. Samastiti here, closing the eyes. Taking a couple of breaths here. Bringing the feet together, big toes and heels touching. If the feet can't come together, that's fine. Just when we do bend our knees, make sure the knees track in line with your feet. Either way. So sitting back into your chair, scoop the arms forward and inhale into Utkatasana. Draw the shoulder blades back. Your arms are parallel here. You can do it with the palms together if you're used to doing that variation. But sometimes it's nice to have the palms apart and slightly forward so the neck and shoulders can feel perfectly free. One more breath here. Exhale to fold forwards. Inhale as you prepare and look out in front. Exhale, step or jump back to Chaturanga and lowering down. Either all the way down and inhale to Baby Cobra or Upward Dog with me. Exhale, Downward Dog. Good. Turning the left foot out to the side, step the right foot forward. If it doesn't make it, you can adjust until you get there and then raising the arms up. Virabhadrasana 1. Take an extra breath here. As you exhale, bring the hands around the front foot, step back to a vinyasa and lower down. Maybe all the way to the ground or hover. Inhale, Baby Cobra or Upward Dog. And exhale, pressing back through Downward Dog. Turn the right foot out to the side as you step the left foot forward and inhale to come up into Warrior 1. So if you need to drop the back knee to come up into Warrior 1, feel free to do that. We'll meet you there. Last breath here. As you exhale, bring the hands around the front foot. Step back into Plank Chaturanga as you lower down. Inhale, lift up through the chest. And exhale, press back to Downward Dog. So either holding here in Adho Mukha Svanasana in Downward Dog or bringing the knees to the ground and coming into Child's Pose if you wish. We've got 5 breaths here. So connecting with your Ujjayi Pranayama again. Activating those whispering muscles in the back of the throat. One more breath here. Looking between the hands, walk or jump there softly, landing light as a feather if you can. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, forward bend. Bring the feet together if you can. Drop the hips, scoop the arms forward. Utkatasana. Exhale, Tadasana, Samastiti. Scooping the arms, we'll do that again. Inhale, scooping them forward. This time come straight down. Exhale, fold into Uttanasana. Inhale to extend, look out in front. Exhale, step or jump back, or maybe bring the knees to the ground. Lowering down, hover or come to the ground. Inhale, Bhujangasana or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Pressing back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, Downward Dog. Turn the left foot to the side, right step foot forward. Virabhadrasana 1. Inhale. Exhale, come through a vinyasa, come to the other side, lowering down. Find the strength through your breath. Inhale up. Exhale to Downward Dog. Right foot turns out to the side, left foot steps forward. Inhale it up. And exhale, coming down with the hands. Press back through Chaturanga. Inhale, Upward Dog or Baby Cobra. And exhaling to Downward Dog. Good, having a rest here and choosing your pose that suits you. So this is a good time to have a rest.
Whenever we're doing the vinyasas, then you can always feel free to leave those out and just rest whenever you want throughout the whole class. Whenever we're holding downward dog, always checking that the hands are roughly shoulder width apart, maybe a little wider. Fingertips, middle fingertips are facing forwards. And you're pressing into the whole ring of the palm, not just into one side. Fingers are spread like starfish. You're feeling the whole body lengthen as you inhale and feeling the strength as you exhale. End of your out breath, look between the hands, walk or jump there and land light as a feather. And then inhale into flat back. Exhale, forward bend. Bringing the feet together, drop the hips and scoop the arms forward. Inhale, Utkatasana. And exhale, coming to stand. Good. I'm going to sit back into Utkatasana again. Raise the arms up to begin with. Deep breath in. Draw the palms down the center. And holding here. So just observing your tendencies in your Utkatasana. We want to sit back but tuck under as well at the same time. A little bit of both. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, twisting around to your right and bringing your elbow either to the left knee to make it easier or outside the right knee if you can. Extend through the spine, so you don't want to feel hunched over. Lengthen. And if it's easy, looking over the right shoulder. Feeling that your knees haven't switched or haven't become uneven, so drawing that left knee back. That's about getting the movement in that left hip. So that's where the knee position is coming from. Bringing the gaze back down to the ground. You're going to take the weight into the right foot. Become light into your left foot. You can release the hands here for better balance and step the left leg back. You can either come into a lunge or you can bring the back knee onto the ground. Okay? So just choosing your variation. Once you're in position, bringing the hands back to Namaste at the center of the chest, either choosing to keep the gaze to the ground or, if you're feeling really balanced, looking up and over the right shoulder. So the breath is very compromised here. You've got to really breathe deeply. Press out through the back heel and have the arms open if that's going to help your balance. It's very hard to talk in this position. Go ahead and release the hands down. We're going to step back into a vinyasa and lowering down to the ground. Inhale, lift up through the chest. And exhale, press back to downward dog. Coming straight forwards, either walking or jumping. And inhaling into flat back. Exhaling to fold. And bringing the feet together. Big toes and heels touching if you can. Drop the hips. Scoop the arms forward. Inhale, Utkatasana. And then bringing the palms to touch at your chest. Staying low if you can. Sitting back a little, tucking a little. So staying where you are there, I'm just going to turn around to demonstrate facing the other way. Take a deep breath in as you exhale, looking around to your left side. Bringing the elbow down either to the right knee or the left knee. And then just checking on those knees again. So you're going to need to draw back the right hip here. Find the length in the spine. Maybe looking over that left shoulder. And bringing the gaze back to the ground. Start to take the weight into the left foot. Become mindful of what's going on in the weight distribution. And then become light in the right foot as you step it back, either with the arms on the ground to help, either with the straight leg or with the knee bent. Keep the gaze to the ground to steady yourself. Or if you're feeling really balanced, you can look up to the top arm and extend the arm if you wish. Just choosing the option that's right for you. One more breath in that position. And then release. You can either just hold downward dog now. We're going to meet you there. We're coming through a vinyasa. So as you exhale, elbows come into the body through Chaturanga Dandasana. Lift up through the chest, either on the ground, cobra, for upward dog, and exhale into downward dog. Looking between the hands, walk or jump there softly, and inhaling into flat back. Exhale, forward bend. Bring the feet together, big toes and heels touching, scoop the arms, inhale. Utkatasana, bring the palms down the centre. We'll do that one more time and add something else in there. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, twist around to the right, bring the elbow down. Take the weight into the right leg, shoot the left leg back. Opening the arms out, coming into a revolved lunge. Now if the hand being on the little toe side of the foot is a bit much, just move it to the big toe side. Also, if you have a block handy, you can do this pose with the block. So you can bring the block down onto the big toe side of the foot, coming into a revolved lunge, or you can have it on the little toe side and come into this arm variation. One more breath here. Beautiful. If you've got the block, you can take it with you. We're going to step forward onto the right leg and bring the hand down towards the ground. Block is really handy here as we come up into the revolved half moon pose, Parivrtta Ardha Chandrasana. So if you've got a block, that's great, or anything else you could use. Extend out through the back heel, trying to keep this back leg in line with the torso. Just choosing the height that's right for you. And then maybe starting to twist around. If that's too strong, bring the back foot down onto the ground. Just point the toes, or you could come up and just come into a revolved upright position with the back toe pointed. So whichever one's right for you. Last breath here. We're going to exhale and fold into Parsvottanasana. So forward fold over that front leg. So you might step the back foot in a little or a lot. You might step it out to the side a little. You might have a little bend if you need. Drawing that right hip back. If coming down is difficult, you could use the block. Or you can stay upright or come up and just fold to above halfway. Good. So from here, we're going to bring the left hand onto the ground and come into a revolved triangle. So block is really good. If the ground's too far away, it's extending up through the right arm. If it's easy, bringing the hand onto the little toe edge of the foot. Adjusting your stance if you need to. Coming into the revolved triangle. Very strong. See how you go. Release the hands down, have a rest, or come through a vinyasa to meet in downward dog. You might come to the ground, inhale to cobra, and exhale to downward dog. Looking between the hands, walk or jump there softly. Inhale into flat back. And exhale, forward bend. Bringing the feet together, big toes and heels touching, drop the heels. Drop the hips towards the heels. Inhale, Utkatasana. Stay here, bring the palms together, hold here in your Utkatasana. I'm just going to change directions so you can see me. On your next exhale, twisting around to your left side, bring the elbow outside the left knee. Draw back with that right hip. Take the weight into the left foot. You can open the arms if you wish to step back. Coming into a revolved lunge. So you could have the block here as well. And you could have the hand on the big toe side of the foot instead of the little toe side. You look towards the top hand, trying to make sure you don't lose that arm, keeping it directly above the shoulder. Imagine the legs are scissoring. And then if you've got the block, keep hold of the block. You can put the top hand to the hip as you transition. Step forward onto that left foot, taking the block out in front of you so that you've got the wrist almost directly underneath the shoulder. Extend the back leg or keep it on the ground if you prefer and press out through the heel. Start to revolve and maybe raise the left arm up. But that's very strong, so don't be in any rush to get that left arm up. Releasing and folding into your Parsvottanasana forward bend. So you can use the block underneath your hands. Trying to keep the hips level. You could come up, step the foot in as much or as little as you need, and exhale, draw back into that left hip, just holding. Otherwise, you can fold forwards. One more breath, holding there. And release, bending through the front knee. Either go into child's pose or we're going to do a vinyasa to get there. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, lift up through the chest. And exhale, pressing back to downward dog. And then lowering the knees onto the ground and coming into child's pose. So feeling the breath into your lower back. Feel it expand as you inhale, just imagining that you've got lungs at the base of those ribs there. So right from the very, very bottom floating ribs all the way down to in line with the sacrum. That's where we want to picture the breath at the moment. So deep breath in and then softening on the exhale. Just holding child's pose for another few breaths. Reaching the arms out in front, coming up onto all fours and reaching back up into downward dog. Walking the feet up towards the halfway mark of the mat and then bringing yourself down into Malasana. So coming into a squat position. You might choose a block underneath the heels or you might sit on the block or sit on a bolster. So just choosing any props or cushions, whatever you've got at home to help you in your position if you need it. And you can also stay a little bit more upright and lean on your thighs if you need to. They say that we should be trying to be in a squatting position for a total of 30 minutes a day for optimal hip health, especially as we age. So if you think about trying to incorporate more squatting into your life, if your knees are happy to do so, then that's going to be really, really rewarding in the long term. So that's why we do so many hip opening postures, and especially Malasana, the squatting position. Good. From here, we're either going to come into Bakasana or into Bakasana prep position. So if you've got a bolster, you can bring the bolster out in front or just some cushions, just so that you've got something to look at and to know that's where your nose will go if you do fall. But you won't fall because you won't be jumping and you'll only be coming up and releasing the toes if you're ready. So Bakasana is the crow pose, the arm balance, where we try to bring the knees up and outside the triceps towards the back of the armpits. So you've really got to use all that abdominal strength we've been working on today. So you're squeezing the knees up into the triceps. You lift up through the tail to help you to begin with. You'll be lowering it down later on. But as you look out in front, just observe if you can take the weight up into your pelvis out of the wrists. And maybe those toes will float off the ground. Only if they float will you come onto the hands. Okay, we don't want to jump at all. Keep the gaze forward, especially when you're learning. Eventually the toes will come a bit lower, the arms will start to lengthen. And then coming back to your Bakasana, coming back to Malasana from your Bakasana. So from your crow pose, coming back into this squat position. And just having a couple of goes, just not being attached to the outcome, giving your best efforts and surrendering the results. And your best efforts doesn't mean coming into the pose. It means being happy with wherever you're at today. So just remembering those few points. You're trying to make a bit of a shelf with the triceps. So as you lift the knees up, keep the gaze forward and slowly floating the toes off perhaps. Or you just stay there with the toes and keeping your gaze forward, imagining taking more weight out of the toes. So just by imagining it will help you to start becoming more mindful of the pose itself and then therefore being able to transition into it when you're ready. Having one last go, or just holding here. If you've had enough of the squat position, you could just Come in, hold the knees into your chest. So once you've had your final go, we're going to slowly transition back to Navasana. So making sure there's nothing in your way. Reaching the arms forward, this is quite tricky in itself, so making sure there isn't anything you can fall into. As you lower down, I want you to see if you can transition without using the arms. So we're going to sit back and come into a V-sit. How did you go? We'll try that again. Bring the knees out to the side. Coming forwards is a bit tricky. So you're going to reach forward and try to come back up into the Malasana squat position. This is something you can have a few goes of later on. Transitioning back to Navasana, the boat pose. It's all in the control through Mula Bandha and through your core strength. So it will come with time. From Malasana, we're going to make our way down to lying on the ground. So just moving any props out of the way so you've got the whole mat to work with. We're going to transition nice and slowly, reach the arms out in front, slowly bring the seat down again, and then transition slowly back to lying down. Using your exhale as you come down. Bringing the feet towards the hips. So the fingers are probably just out of reach of the heels as your palms flatten down on the ground. Some nice easy pelvic rolls here, pressing into the feet. Start to tuck the tailbone and press into the feet as you lift the hips up on an inhale. As you exhale, start to tuck the tail again and feel each vertebrae one by one coming down. Notice how we keep the tuck of the tail the whole way down until the tailbone touches down at the very end of your exhale. Beginning again on your inhale, press into the feet, inhaling to rise up. And then exhaling to hollow the belly and roll back down. You want to be gazing straight up to the sky or the ceiling if you can to keep some space underneath your neck. I'm going to start that one more time as you press into the heels, tuck the tail, inhale, lifting up. And then you can choose now to either keep going up and down with the breath, or you can stay up, narrow between the shoulder blades, reach the fingers together and interlace them. You want to get the feeling as though you could lift the chest off the ground and the upper back as well. As you press into the heels, without moving them, imagine you could drag the heels towards your head. That's going to help you activate your hamstrings to sort of help assist the glutes and the lower back here. The gaze is straight up to the sky, freedom in the back of the neck, so there's a space there. You've got no pressure on the neck, and the neck feels good. So you'd be leaving this out if you didn't want to invert today. All right, you just go up and down with the breath. Otherwise, if this is feeling good and you want to make it a little stronger, you can bring the feet together, raise the right leg up into the air. See if you can keep that right hip lifting as well. Try to keep the hips lifted as you change over. Press into the heel, lifting up through the left leg, left hip trying to stay in line with the right. Good. Slowly releasing down. Unwind the arms, sort of shimmy the shoulders out, and then coming down in the same way, tucking the tail, trying to feel each part of the spine touching down. Slowly lower down. Good. Hugging the knees into the chest. Just starting to slow it down a little now. Coming into happy baby. So bringing the feet up, heels pressing up towards the sky, and drawing down. You can take hold of the thighs, the outer edges of the shins, calves, or if it's easy, grab the outside of the little toe edge of the feet. You might like to roll around a little. Just loosening up through the lower back. If it's not possible for you to do both legs at the same time, no problem, just come to one leg. You might find that a lot easier, okay? And then try and sort of imagine you could draw the knee in towards the armpit. Making sure you do both sides. Bringing the knees together. Squeezing them in towards the chest. Extending the left leg away, drawing the right leg in. If you're looking after your knees, take hold of the back of the thigh instead of the knee. And just feel the compression into the front of that right hip. Feel the left front of the thigh stretching. Inhale to change, and exhale, squeeze in the left side. Feel the right side lengthening. This time, changing sides, squeezing in through the right side. We're going to take that right knee and cross it over the body. So you can bring your right elbow out in line, or the whole arm in line with the shoulder as you cross over. You could support the knee with your hand if you're looking after your lower back, and just finding the point where you're getting the stretch, but there's no strain anywhere. Keeping both shoulders on the ground. Just feeling a nice gentle twist. Slowly assist the knee to bring it back to center. Hug it into the chest one more time. Exhale here. Inhale to change. Exhale, squeeze in the left side. Taking the left knee across the body and bringing the left arm out, or just the elbow. If you can, gazing over your left shoulder, if that's okay for your neck. Otherwise, just keep the gaze straight up or to the right. As you exhale, you want to feel as though you're lengthening rather than tightening into a ball. So imagine growing taller as you breathe in and keeping that feeling as you spiral with the exhale, keeping that left shoulder on the ground. Coming back through center, hugging the knees into the chest one last time, and then slowly bringing the feet down. Let yourself come down to rest into Shavasana. So as you close your eyes, you might like to take 2 big deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth with a ha sound. And just allowing the breath to soften. No longer trying to control the breath, just letting it go. Seeing if you can feel surrender throughout the whole body. Allowing the whole of the back of the body to feel connected with the earth. Feeling heavy, but then creating a lightness through the rest of the body. Feeling the prana, the energy within your body. You might feel a little tingling. And just taking the time to really tap into the sensations in your body. The life force moving around. Knowing this is the most important part of the practice. So if you could stay here for 10 minutes, that would be ideal, or longer even. Resting deeply. So staying here for as long as you can. And when you are ready to come out of it, you'll try and roll to the right side if that's comfortable. Bringing yourself up to sitting. So you could always just pause the video and take a longer Shavasana. That would be perfect, that would be ideal. And when you are ready to complete the practice, bring the palms to touch in front of your heart center into Namaste. And just calling on your intention, your sankalpa, your positive affirmation. Drawing it further into your heart. And seeing if you can take it with you into the rest of your day. Namaste.